So what about taxes? Because that was a big part of your debate with Gary. You were proposing lower taxes, if anything, encourage business owners, and that's one of the reasons we moved to Nevada was because of low taxes. They were very pro-business. And fun thing, but when I made that video saying that I'm leaving Los Angeles, I actually got an email from someone at the city council who was on like the business board thanking me for moving and said, we're so happy to have you. If there's anything we could do, please reach out. We're here.
Amazing.
Like, I loved that. I couldn't believe it.
Mm.
LA, they'd say, well, if you want to do this, you have to register for this additional tax. Like, I'm paying this 1% business tax to the city of LA for no reason at all. It's just, and just every year.
And now and now they've cut off their nose to spite their face.
Yeah.
Because we all come to Vegas to come and see you, and your businesses run from
100%.
here, and so much of what they're missing out on. What we have to do is what's called going back to first principles. And going back to first principles is asking the question: what should a government be there for? Like, what's its purpose? And there are different answers to that question. So, like, the USA has traditionally said that the government there is to ensure individuals' rights, and it's all about freedoms and the rights of the individual and the rights for people to, for better or for worse, to have a free way of living, right? So the founding fathers, they tried to create a system of government that said that you are primarily an individual with agency and that you may screw up your own life, and that's on you. But the government, our job is to limit the powers of government so that you can screw up your life if you want to, or you can do well, but that's your life. You get to do it. In other parts of the world, they say the purpose of government is to make sure that we look after anyone who can't look after themselves, and that the government is there to have collective responsibility over the people. You're going to have less individual rights, but the government is going to provide more for you and all that sort of stuff. So the first thing is you have to go to first principles and say, what do we want our government to be? Like, what is the role of government? And we need to ask basic questions like, what is an economy for? Like, is an economy for becoming successful? Is an economy for getting needs met? Is an economy for preventing poverty? Like, what is it that we're trying to do? Then you go back to best practices, like what experiments have been run and how do you apply the knowledge of those experiments? And you kind of got to rebuild it from the ground up, because we've had such a fundamental shift because of technology. This technology thing is not a small thing. This is the last time this happened was the agricultural age, where everyone worked in farming. 90% of people worked in farming. And then there was this one day where two guys rocked up with a tractor and they went, and in 2 days they plowed the whole field. 97 people stood there and went, hey, wait a second, that used to take us 2 months. And these guys just did it with a tractor in 2 days. What are we all going to do? The minute that tractor plowed the very first field, that was a turning point. That was a moment where life would never be the same again. You will, as soon as that tractor works, we know that 97% of people in farming are out of a job. And it's only a matter of time. The clock is now ticking. So that's where we had to create a new economy with new rules called the industrial age. So we went from the agricultural age into the industrial age. We went from a feudal system and a colonial system into an industrialized modern system that we know. As soon as the very first AI writes a contract, we know that the legal profession is going to be profoundly impacted. As soon as the very first AI does a better job at diagnosing than a general practitioner doctor, we know that we have fundamental. These are tractor moments, and we've had hundreds of tractor moments that have just happened in the last 5 years. As soon as the average individual person can outsource and have an assistant in the Philippines, holy smokes, right? That should send tingles down most people. It's like, whoa, okay. So are you saying that the bookkeeper, the accountant, the bookkeeper, the personal assistant, all of these roles that used to be in an office, these can now be in the Philippines at a fraction of the cost and just as good? Okay, that fundamentally changes the economy. So we've had all these moments where technology has made things available, and we've got to rebuild the economy with that in mind.
Where do you think is the best place in the world to start a business?
So at the moment, depends. There's two types of businesses that you want. You either want a lifestyle business or a performance business. A lifestyle business is a business that's going to be typically between 1 and 5 million of revenue. It's going to have high 6-figure, maybe low 7-figure profit. It's built around fun, freedom, flexibility. It's going to be it's going to be like a dream lifestyle business. It's going to look good on Instagram, and that's going to be a lifestyle business. A performance business is one that you intend to sell. So you're working backwards from exit. You're going to try and get tens of millions of revenue, 7-figure, maybe even 8 figures of profit, and you're going to try and sell that for a life-changing amount of money. So you have to work out, are you trying to build a business that is built for exit, or are you build a business that's built for Instagram, right? And lifestyle or performance, and then pick your spot there. The USA is still a phenomenal place. There's enormous amounts of money here, technology and support. If you're building a performance business, USA is the leading ecosystem in the world, but it may not be the leading ecosystem for lifestyle businesses.
If you're doing a lifestyle business, where would you go? What about Dubai?
Places like Dubai is amazing. It's difficult for you as an American citizen because you get taxed globally anyway. But for British people, we don't get taxed. If we leave the country, so many people are leaving because the number one way to avoid taxes in the UK is to just leave the country.
Mm-hmm. How does that work, by the way? Like, do you go to Dubai, make millions of dollars? Can you just come back to London, let's just say, and spend it?
It depends. Oh, you can definitely come back and spend it, but you have to spend less than 90 days in the country, or else you're deemed to be a tax resident back in.
Yeah, but
London.
let's just say hypothetically you spend 5 years in Dubai, you make $20 million.
Yeah,
and then you come back to London. Yeah, are you good?
A lot of people. Yeah, you've paid taxes on that amount of money, which is not zero. You've paid your zero, and now you're bringing money into the country. So you're now you're basically coming into the country as an external tax resident coming into it.
Why doesn't the United States do this? Aren't they the only country in the world that does this?
I think there might be 2 or 3 countries, but you're the main country that does this. You ring fence the population. I think it's historically because you had such a big economy that you didn't, you had such a disparity between the wealth of the United States and the rest of the world, that someone figured out. I think it was Clinton who implemented this. It was like in the late 90s. It was Bill Clinton who came up with the idea of, we're going to do exit taxes, and we're also going to do worldwide income taxes, because I think he saw the writing on the wall that people could just leave the USA, be slightly outside of the USA, and make all their money in the USA but live abroad.
Yeah. Speaking of all that, what are your thoughts on tariffs?
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of things economists agree on, but most economists agree that trade wars are not good and tariffs are not good, unless they have like some really specific purpose. Like if you really, for a strategic reason, want a particular thing to be manufactured inside your borders. But broad blanket tariffs, I mean, that's, it's kind of like, imagine the economy is a very delicate machine. Like it's a very delicate like watch or something like that, and pieces putting in, people tweak and tweak and tweak. Putting like massive tariffs on everything, that's like just hitting it with a baseball bat and seeing what happens.